And now, the Purple Room.
Welcome into the Purple Room podcast. I am Patricia Caputo. He's David Bartholomew. And for the first time ever, we have a guest on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Marco Passos from After Midnight is joining us. If you're unaware, he and his band were the winners for Battle of the Bands on Friday. So, Marco, talk a little bit about your experience. What was going through your mind when you won?
It was a lot of nerves going on that night, for sure. We prepared a lot. Obviously this was a big thing for us. We had only been a band for a little less than 2 months, so this was like our moment to really put a statement out there that we came to play, you know what I'm saying? So we put on a good show, I think, and, crowd loved it. Everybody went cool with it. I didn't know if we were going to win. When we won, it was crazy for sure. But I just want to thank y'all for putting it on. We all put on a hell of a show, so.
No, it was a great night. But you said that you guys were only a band for 2 months.
Yeah.
How did y'all get ready in those 2 months?
Well, we didn't know we were going to play Battle of the Bands until a little after. So how the band started and everything, me and Gavin had been, our guitar player, had been playing together for a decade at this point. And so Brant worked with me at the restaurant called Solu. We were servers together. And so I always knew he played drums. He was in another band. That band dissipated, and he asked me if I wanted to do anything, and he said, if we can get something together, we play our first show at the Rev next week. And we're like, okay, bet. So just got going from there.
Who'd you guys hit up?
We so one of Brant's roommates is friends with the girl that runs the LSU Chicks account. So she was the one that hooked us up with that gig, and came a clutch for sure.
So what about the guitar solos? Because you had a few on Friday night, and they were quite long.
Oh, yeah.
So how did you get to that point where you felt confident enough that I can do this?
I've been playing Eruption. So, funny story. I learned how to play Eruption my freshman year of high school. It was for the talent show. And I'd always, Eruption just in particular, Eddie Van Halen's whole discography. Yep. But, Eruption in particular is what really got me wanting to play guitar. So, I knew that, that was going to be our thing to carry us over the top. If anything, I was like, we need to pull out all the stops. So just, practiced it a few times before the show and just went on.
How long have you been playing guitar?
So I started on my 9th birthday, I got a guitar and almost immediately started taking lessons after that. So I'll be 23 this year. It'll be 14 years in December. Yeah.
So
Oh, you go.
Okay, well, who are your inspirations?
So I listened to a lot of when I was a kid, I was all in the classic rock stuff. I got really into the heavy stuff early on. So Pantera, Dimebag Darrell's giant inspiration guitar-wise, Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold, Chuck Schuldiner from Death, all of those super, super heavy bands. And also, a lot of rappers nowadays have guitars in their music, and I like to play around with that too, Cardi, any of the Opium guys. So.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all sick.
What's your favorite Cardi song?
Favorite Cardi song is On That Time.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hard one now because we're going released or leak.
Oh.
Release. Okay,
because
he has a lot of good leaks.
Molly is my favorite leak.
Yeah, Molly is a good leak.
Yeah.
Do you like the new music he's been dropping?
Yeah, I think he's 7 for 7 on singles.
Even the recent one?
Oh yeah, Ketam's my favorite one.
I like it. I do like it a lot.
Because it's kind of the whole lot of red beat selection, but with his deep voice.
Yo,
it's so fun to try to do.
Bringing out the deep voice is crazy.
I don't know, it's fun.
Okay, well, you started this band just 2 months ago, like you were saying.
End of January, yeah.
So what does the future look like for this band?
Hopefully, well, after the Battle of the Bands, we started booking a lot of things up for the next couple of months, specifically Greek events and stuff like that. So trying to get in that bag a little bit. We hope to play at Fred's a lot more. They're great. It's one of my favorite places to play at. We know summer's going to be a little slow just because that's how it is, but for the fall, we're ready to ramp it up. We want to do as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, football season. Yeah. I mean, you guys
we are looking
start packing up some
that.
bars?
Absolutely. We are looking forward to getting on getting on whatever we need to do.
You guys made any original music yet?
We're going to work on that during the summer because I'm going on tour with another band for a good amount of July and August, but before that, we're going to start working on it. We feel like we've gotten to a place in our cover set list that we're pretty cool with it. We can start moving on other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, speak on that a little, the other band that you're in.
Yeah, so I'm just joined this band called Our House. They're a new metal band, kind of like a Limp Bizkit meets metalcore, I guess. We are about to play a show in Houston. We're going to play a show in LA for the label, and then in July we're going to go on the road for a couple weeks, and then later this year we're going to go on the road for a couple weeks with a band called Belmont. And we were just in Nashville recording a couple of songs over the spring break, and I'm excited to see how crazy they're going to go live, because there's some real heavy bangers in there for sure.
Dude, how is the tour life like?
So
You're gonna be on the road.
So this is like the first time I'll be like on an official
Yeah.
real tour, because before, like, I went on tour with a couple of rappers that I was making beats for, and that was really just like we're sleeping in our car on the side of the highway, like going play at like basement shows and stuff. So that was really like some tough living situations for sure. But I got a lot of lore from it, let's just say.
So just how many hours a week are you practicing to make sure that you can go on tour?
Right. So I go meet up with the other band in Covington every Sunday. Skip this last Sunday because me and the drummer all play in different cover bands. He plays in New Orleans, I play here. So we were kind of recovering from Battle of the Bands and his stuff. But it'll be this Sunday, and then a couple of days after that, and we go to Houston on the 19th. We're also filming a music video while we're there. So for the song that we recorded in Nashville.
So you guys just stay busy.
Yeah, and then the other band, or for After Midnight, we just kind of go throughout the week, see what our schedules are like, and we just meet up at our drummer's house and start playing.
So you're in 2 bands.
Yep.
2 bands.
2 bands, and I do solo stuff too.
And you're a producer. You got your own music.
Right.
Dude, how do you keep up with all that?
It's just it's really hard, but like if you're like me and music's your like whole life, you don't really know how to do anything else. It's real easy, because I get home and it's just like, it's not like, oh, I have to practice this. I'm like, oh, I just pick up a guitar and you know. So it's just fun to me. Like it's not work.
Yeah, like how long did it take you to really get like, well, what level would you say you are like music wise on a scale like 1 to 10?
I mean, it depends on the instrument, because I play a lot of them. So like guitar is obviously my first instrument. I started playing drums about 10 years ago. I didn't start singing until kind of recently. Like I mentioned I was in a metal band. I was doing the scream stuff so long. Like I can do that real good.
Yeah.
Just started learning how to like really sing and stuff like that for the band, really. Because they were like, we don't have a singer. And I was like, I can sing that.
Let me start.
They were like, you're crazy. You be the front man. I was like, well, I got to figure out how to sing. But yeah, it's as far as like the level goes, I'd say I'm probably the best at guitar out of all the other instruments, because that's my first one. Like,
So guitar, drums, anything else?
guitar, drums, I play piano, I do the producing thing, which like Ableton's harder than any other instrument I've ever played. Singing, I played trombone in middle school band.
Wow.
I was in drumline in high school too, but that was the other one. That was fun.
Okay, so speaking of the guitar,
Yeah.
I was looking at your TikTok,
Right.
and there's this video where you
no.
kind of pretend to take the guitar off and smash it, but you don't.
Oh yeah.
But that was on video. Have you ever smashed a guitar at a concert or just for fun?
So that will happen.
Okay.
If you come to our well, we don't know exactly when we're gonna do it, but I have a specific. I found, so right after Battle of the Bands, I went to my mom's crib and I looked in the attic and I found my first ever guitar.
Oh wow.
Beat to crap, you know, and it's old and it was like $50. So I was like, but it's still functional. So, hint.
You might have to bring it out.
It may or may not stay intact.
Have you ever seen anyone live start just destroying a
Oh,
guitar?
yeah. Dude, so when I was, I hang around a lot of the like the New Orleans like hardcore scene,
Yeah.
and they go nuts. Shout out Doctors, Drim, 610 Split, all those bands. They're my homies, but like they go nuts. I've seen them break walls of venues, like
Wow.
yeah.
So if you wanted to get into the hardcore scene, like how would you get into that?
You kind of just got to start going to shows, you know, like, it's really inclusive of a thing, like, you know,
Yeah.
you go there and you make homies with people and then you're just homies. It's kind of like its own thing. Like, it's not really part of the metal scene. It's not really like the punk scene, but it's like kind of in between. Everybody's homies. And I actually became homies with them because I played guitar for this rapper called Popstar Slime. He's like rage beats, like trippy red kind of thing. But he wanted a guitar player for his stuff. We played a show with one of the bands. And then I just started going to their shows because they were sick, and we all became homies.
Dude, that's sick.
Okay, I have to ask because this has been on my mind for a while, and I
Okay.
actually think you might be able to answer it for
Sure.
me. So I don't know if you've ever watched the Eagles documentary. It was made a while ago.
What's it about?
It's literally just about them as a band and all the kind of crazy stuff they did, and they were more like low key.
I
than
heard
some other
about
bands.
them, yeah.
But you know, there's ruining hotels and just destroying them, all like the typical rock and roll type
Right.
stuff. But now with social media, I'm like, I feel like these bands could not get away with what they do, and it would be like, you're a horrible human. I'm not listening.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's fact? If
That
you
is
guys
absolutely.
went crazy?
As somebody who's dabbled in the touring shenanigans and like knows a couple of bands that have toured on a larger scale, there's no way in hell that you're being able to do any of that.
So no one does that stuff anymore. Like no one's like
There are
hotels.
definitely shenanigans that go on, but as far as like y'all ever seen The Dirt, like about Motley Crue?
Yeah.
None of that's going on.
That's not going on anymore.
But the debauchery just takes different forms over the years. Like you can't like Led Zeppelin threw a TV out and landed on somebody's car. They can't do that anymore because then somebody's gonna film it and it's gonna end up on Twitter and then everybody's like So,
TMZ would be
exactly
after
TMZ, Twitter. Not to say that that's a bad thing, like I'm not an endorsee of like smashing people's cars with TVs, but like can't go as crazy, for sure.
A lot of that stuff was like in the moment. Like when you see these dudes, like all that hype is getting into you. Everyone's screaming. Like the music is just.
I understand how they feel. Sometimes I feel like doing that, but I'm just like like there's a voice that's like you don't want to end up on TMZ.
Like when I'm at a concert, like and I'm listening to like the drums, the guitars going. Something in your chest is just telling you just gotta move.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling. It's like it really is like a drug. Like that's why playing live is such a crazy thing. And when you get off of the stage and you go home, it's like I feel like you're coming down from something because it's just like a different thing.
Oh yeah.
But what do you do to calm down?
I just like eat pizza and like watch Star Wars. Like get into my nerd bag because then it makes me feel less rock starry and more like a nerd. So I'm just like kind of levels myself out.
I feel like every dude that like has this time in their life where they're like, I want to be a rock star when I grow up.
Yeah.
Cause I wanted to be a rock star so bad. When you watch people on TV, like they come in, they just got the guitar, they smash it.
Yeah.
The whole crowd's going crazy.
Yeah.
You going tour life, tour bus. Then you're going to this hotel, you're going to this venue. Yeah. That life just looks so crazy, but it has to be hard to uphold, especially because you're in you're doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like it's just as far as like making everything work in a schedule, specifically on tour, because like you're living in the backseat of somebody's like van for like 2 weeks most of the time. You get a hotel if you're lucky, but like most bands tour in the van when they start off. So like we were doing my Honda Accord right out there. We were driving around with that thing, and it's just like somebody's like, "Oh, send me a beat." I'm like, my laptop is in Atlanta and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
God. So when did you start making beats?
I started making beats probably around when I was 17, 18, like 2019, something like that. A lot of my friends from high school ended up rapping, and I was just always like, like I could make beats. I play all these different instruments. It can't be that hard. And I was proven wrong because that is hard. If you want to go into making beats, that's one of the greatest things you can do if you don't have any knowledge of music. But I went to it having knowledge of music, and it messed with me. So if you don't play music and you want to start playing beats, do it. FL Studio is $99, and you can crack it for free. But
trust me, I cracked it. But I wanted to learn how to start making beats, and when I started, I was like, what do you do? Like it looks like it's crazy.
It's so overwhelming because everything that you need is right in front of you. So there's so many different buttons. You're like and then once you like learn what different things do, it gets to be like a
that is interesting when you say if you already have music knowledge, it kind of messes with you.
For me, at least. Like I know some people that are like some crazy music theory. Like I'm not super into the theory side. I only took lessons for like 3 years.
Yeah.
But like I don't know how to read music or anything like that. But I know people that like do that and they're like, oh, this is easy. But like me going into getting used to writing stuff solely from a guitar thing and having to transfer that over to the computer and like having to mix stuff and EQ is just like so crazy. I'm still learning how, and it's been almost 5 years since I started making beats.
So if you don't know how to read music, you do it all by the ear?
Mostly, yeah. I have this thing called perfect pitch to where like if you
have perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're one of the lucky ones.
If you play a note, I know what note it is. I didn't know that I had it. So when I was in marching band in high school, I was in drumline. I had to take the band class, like in the classroom. And so the band director was like, "This is a C," and he went, and I was like, actually, it's in between a C and a B. And he's like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Yeah, it is." He was like, "He's like, wait, close your eyes. And I was like, yeah. And he's like playing this note. And I was like, D. And I was like, yeah, F sharp, da da da. And he was like,
Wow.
whoa. And I
You
was
got
like,
pirate pitch.
I was like, because I thought everybody had that.
No.
When I was first starting to play, I got the guitar. My mom gave me like her old Beatles like greatest hit CD, the red one.
Yeah.
And she was like, learn all these songs. Didn't have a tuner.
Wow.
Only had a guitar and an amp. So I was like, and I would tune to what I remembered the notes being. And it's really clutch because I can hear a song and sometimes I'll know how to play it before I touch the guitar, which is fun. But trying to teach people is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because
I learned and then completely, like, my brain does different stuff than other people's brain when they, not to be like,
yo, that's
that guy.
No, that's
like,
insane though.
No, yeah, it comes in clutch for sure, especially with like learning like 3 hours worth of cover material. You know exactly what needs to be played when you hear it. That way, when you go to practice, it's a lot easier to pick up.
Every time I meet someone with perfect pitch, I'm like, bro, you don't know how lucky you are.
Me and Gavin in my band both have it.
Dude, that's like two anomalies being born together.
Oh, yeah. Me and Gavin both have it. We've been, like I said, we've been playing for decades. We automatically were like, yo, did you hear this song? And then you send the songs to me, and then we go to each other's house and play the song, like without even learning it. No, me and him are like twin. We love it.
Wow. I played violin for 4 years and I still can't play mandolin.
That is hard. I always wanted to learn how to play violin, but it's like, imagine a guitar, tuned to fifths, not fourths, no frets and no fret markers, so you don't know where you're putting your fingers at.
Yeah,
like on guitar, these got dots and you got frets, so you kind of have a feeling of where you are. But like violin's like a different thing.
Either way, it's still hard. But can you talk for a minute? Can we go back about how you said you were living in a car? So I have some questions if you're comfortable with answering them.
Yeah, totally.
What goes into like where do you shower? Where do you eat? Where do you get money?
I had saved up all of my money because I knew I was going on tour.
Yeah.
So I had saved up like
Smart.
like 4 or 5 bands because we were going on tour for like 3 weeks, and I blew it all. That was stupid. Don't do that. But I hacked it. So I knew a couple of bands that went on tour, and I asked them about it, and they were like, "Get a Planet Fitness membership. You can go to any gym in any city ever, and you could go take a shower." Because everybody was like, we would stay at B&Bs or we would stay at these other people's house, but you're partying all the time. You forget to shower. But I was like, I have a time at 9:30 a.m. I will go to the Planet Fitness and I will take a shower. And so then I would go to laundromats and wash my clothes. Because I would wear like 3 outfits for 3 weeks. And I would just like, this I can't do this right now.
Gotta rotate.
You would get to the third show of wearing the same outfit and you'd be just, I just cannot even stand the smell of myself anymore. That's why I say it's hard. Because like being on tour, like it's like, oh, it looks cool, but like it's really like, I wouldn't do it in my car again. Absolutely not.
How old were you when you did that?
19.
Okay, so you were young.
Yeah.
You have the experience now to tell for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It makes a little bit of sense. All right.
Because I had taken 2 years off after high school. Before I even went to school, I moved to LA for a year and then moved to Atlanta for a year after that. And then my brother got cancer. He beat it. Before y'all, get sad or whatever, he beat it. I came back here, went to UL for a semester, then came here, and now I'm taking a semester off so I can go on tour.
So wait, hold on. So you graduated and you went straight to LA?
So I graduated 2020, like COVID.
Yeah.
Wow. We graduated March 13th, as everybody knows.
Oh, don't remind me.
And I was like, well, now I have all the time to work or whatever. So I said I was gonna move like around December of that year. That was like what my plan was. But I had worked so much because I wasn't in school that I had the money by like July. And as soon as I graduated on July 10th, I drove. Like $1,800 I had. Alone. I went up to Colorado because one of my friends, he goes here now, but at the time he was playing football for North Colorado in Greeley. I went go stay with him, Philip, for a little bit, and I went go drive up to Fort Collins to hang out with my friend that goes to CSU. Stayed there for a couple days, drove the rest of the way down. All in one day. Not all in, like, I drove to Colorado in one day.
Yeah.
Terrible drive, never do that. Drove to Colorado to LA in one day. Great drive, would highly recommend. Because, once you see your 37,000th windmill in Amarillo, Texas, it gets really
You start losing your mind?
Texas is bad.
Especially driving by yourself.
That's, like, did you know anybody in LA at the time, or you're just like, I'm just
I knew one dude, but it was somebody I went to high school with, and I, like, knew him on an acquaintance level.
Yeah.
But I, like, didn't know him.
So where'd you stay? Just your car?
I was staying in a B&B for a little bit, and then I ended up getting a girlfriend. And her dad is somebody that is a little. Oh, yeah. I told you about this earlier. But I went go, I live in Reseda in the valley for a little while, and then I I lived there for about LA total for about like 10 months, and then came back here for 2 months, and then Atlanta.
So were there precautions with the whole COVID? Because this was
yeah.
July 2020.
Yeah.
So what did you do while you were there, but also what precautions went into like all of your plans?
I don't know if you had heard, but a lot of people did not follow those precautions in LA specifically, in terms of like parties and stuff like that. So like there was stuff you couldn't do, but really, if you really wanted to, the only hindrance that you had was traffic was better. But like you couldn't really go to Disneyland or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I couldn't afford Disneyland anyway, so. But it was cool just like making friends over there and stuff. Obviously there wasn't as much stuff to do. Like later on when I go visit, like I'm going back in May for a weekend just to do some stuff with the other band. But it's a lot cooler now because everybody's out and about. Like you don't have to like go find stuff to do. Stuff is there in front of you to do.
So I'm guessing you're pretty good at making friends.
I'd say so. Yeah. I as you can see, I yap a lot. So like I really don't have like a anxiety filter, so I kind of just talk to people.
Where'd you go in LA to make friends? Like,
so it was mostly through the girl that I was talking to, and then I met these other people at a thrift store, and then I lived with them for a while, and then they had a bunch of musician friends, and I went go cool with them, and then I had one video like really blow up on TikTok, so like I met a lot of people through that. That's how I got a majority of my work, like producing and stuff, was through TikTok, because I had one video when I was 19 with the pink guitar and everything go crazy. So
dog, this is the most filthiest I ever rode.
Okay, we talked about the downsides of social media.
Right.
Like you can't be a crazy rocker anymore.
Right.
But like, elaborate on what are the positives of social media.
So it's a double-edged sword with that video specifically, because I had like 300 followers on TikTok, and I made this video with this riff. I kind of like ripped off a Limp Bizkit a little bit, but not really. And I posted it, and then I like went out and then went to sleep, didn't check my phone. I woke up and I had like 2 million views, and I had like 100,000 followers, and I was like, what happened? Like, and so.
oh my God.
No, yeah, like literal overnight, and I had like some of my favorite band. I'm not gonna like name drop or whatever, but I had like people that I looked up to DMing me like, yo, and I was just like, and I was like going crazy, and then it was cool. Like it lasted for a while, but then like it's so weird how that algorithm works, because like now I don't even bother with TikTok anymore. Like for example, just for promotion of the Battle of the Bands thing, I reposted that same video. It blew up again. But I'll repost a video of us playing. It'll get nothing.
And it will get nothing. Algorithm's so weird.
I know.
I don't know.
I really don't like mess with TikTok that much anymore.
But they like that video clearly. They like
love
that video.
Instagram Reels loves that video too. Like that's the reason why I had like 12,000 on Instagram, whatever, because of that one video. So yeah.
I would really like to see you guys just either go out together or do like a bit, because like I feel like you both are so like, what I mean by that is just like, yeah, like the two of you and Fred's, you guys are just so fearless, and there's just like
he was really going crazy.
Like, you don't have a nervous system, I don't think either of you.
If
in
you
the nicest way possible.
If you would have told me to go up there and sing a bunch of waka, then I wouldn't have done it even. But he did it, and I'm like, hey, I respect anybody that like can go out on the stage and like just go crazy, like just be themselves. That's what I thrive to do every time I hop on the stage.
I love crowds. Like,
yeah.
I'm always like, I always got a little bit of butterflies before I do something. Then I see the crowd and I'm like, oh my God, I forget about it. I just start going crazy.
No, yeah.
That's what we were talking about that with some other people at Tiger TV. We were like, we want to be like David, where you just have fun by yourself. And I think you did that too, just going to LA. You're like, I'll just go have fun by myself.
Yeah.
No fear.
And like there was a lot of tough things about it, but do I regret it? No. Like there was a lot, like I'm back here, obviously I'm from Lafayette originally, like I went over there and I came back, but like, dude, like if I would have went to college straight out of high school, like I would have burnt out and I would have just not.
What'd your parents say about it? They're just like, go ahead.
I'm not gonna talk about my dad too much, but because that's an entire segue. My mom obviously was like discouraging, because like she's a nurse anesthetist, so like she went to a lot of school and stuff, and she never was a music person either, but she's like, I know I've seen you grow up and I've seen you like push this guitar thing since you were real little. Like if this is what you feel like you need to do, then do it. Like she spent 2 years being like, don't do it. But on the last day she was like, you gotta do it. If you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And so I did it. Shout out my mom. It's my best friend.
Aww.
So
that's amazing. And you really pushed for it too. I mean, you've been playing 14 years, you said.
Yeah.
Coming up on 14
and
years.
I've been begging for a guitar way longer than that.
Wow.
Like when I was 5, I was like, who's that guy with the striped guitar on TV? And it was Van Halen. And I was like, my dad's like, shut up. Because my dad's from Brazil and he was a soccer player. So like, it's he's gonna kill me for saying soccer. Anyway, futebol. But yeah.
Yeah, he would be like, soccer?
Yeah. No, exactly.
When I was like 7, my mom got me a pair of drums for Christmas.
Yeah.
I kind of like, I made the house too loud. So the first time like one of the drums like ripped, she just threw the whole thing out.
Dang, man.
And she got me a piano instead, which I did the piano for like 7 years, and then one day I was like, I don't care anymore.
Piano's hard.
Oh my God.
Going from guitar, like everybody that I know that went from piano to guitar, fire. Everybody I know that went from guitar to piano is like hard, because then you got to get used to your right hand doing stuff. You're used to your right hand like down picking, like especially if you're playing metal, but like thumbs. That's the main thing. It's just like coordinating all that.
So I might have a chance to pick up the guitar then.
If you play piano first, you'll probably be better at guitar than if you would have just started with guitar.
And I used to know how to read music. Probably no chance now.
I know how to read rhythms from being in drumline. I don't know how to read music. And if you ask me to sight read, I'm just gonna jump off of a building
you've been doing good without it.
Yeah, if
you're fine.
Yeah, if you tell me like, if you tell me to read music, it's not gonna happen.
We've kind of brushed on it a little bit. Like, who are some of your biggest inspirations in music?
So, depends on like the section of like music.
Yeah.
Like for guitar, it's like Dimebag, Sinister Gates, Chuck Schuldiner. For drums, all of my drum heroes are dead. Rest in peace to all of them. But Taylor Hawkins, Foo Fighters, Joey Jordison from Slipknot, and the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold. And then singing wise, I can't sing nearly as high as this dude, but Spencer Sotelo from Periphery is nuts. Just a lot of those like super crazy. I really like get inspiration from people being frontmen rather than singers, because like being able to do crowd control and crowd stuff and work with people is way more impressive to me than hitting notes. Mm-hmm. That's why I try to like do stuff, even though I might be 6 shots deep, really tired and not hitting the notes, but I'm at least I'm like going crazy.
People enjoy that too, because a majority of people aren't good singers.
You're there to entertain people. That's what the entertainment business is. It's not like, oh wow, he's such a technically good guitar player or a technically good singer. Can you put on a show is what I'm worried about.
And you can auto tune it in the studio, and the recorded version is gonna come out much cleaner. But when you're live, you want
to put on a show. It's like Cardi. Cardi doesn't even rap most of the stuff, but he's up there looking like a vampire. Exactly. But it's crazy, and I feel like I'm floating every time I see him. So
every single time.
Exactly.
Okay, to wrap it up, I can't help but to look at the tattoo underneath your eye. Do you have other ones?
Yeah, I have 9.
9.
So, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shout out My Chemical Romance. 7, 8, and then my shirt's tucked. There's one there, 9, and his name is Gerald. He's a great guy.
Which one hurt the most?
Easily. That was my first one. I got it on my 18th birthday, and it was easily the most painful thing ever. I almost passed out.
Which one's your favorite?
It's either that one or this boy right here. I got this the day I moved to LA, like when I was 18.
Hard.
So
hard.
Yeah, it was me and Gavin in the tattoo shop together. And
we got to get Gavin up here.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked. I was like, dude, the whole band in here would be nuts.
No,
we riff off of each other a lot. So it's
my God.
It's real entertaining when we get Gavin, because Gavin's a real character. Like, I yap a lot, but he's like a real character. Like, I love that dude.
So how long you guys anticipate you guys are going to be together? It seems like you guys got some good chemistry.
Well, so me and Gavin will always play music together like forever. But like, I know Chad is graduating so bass players maybe possibly hit our line in May. But other than that, I see this going for quite some time. I'm really just looking forward to the fall. Like, we got a lot of stuff booked for the spring. We're not booked all the way up if anybody watching wants to book us. But I'm really looking forward to like football season, because that's gonna be so fun. Like, just booking up Fred's or wherever, just playing. It's gonna be so much fun.
I can see it already.
Yeah.
Okay, now you had mentioned you like sports a little bit, so a little segment we do here on the podcast is No Sweat Bets, presented by Southern Air. David, we'll let you go first, all right? Because there's a lot of LSU sports going on today. So give me one of your no sweat bets.
There's no need to fear for LSU baseball. We're coming back. We had a couple bad games. Got a little bounce back midweek against Southeastern Louisiana. And right now, the LSU boys are in Arkansas. and they're going to take home a dub this weekend in the series. They started early because of the Easter holiday, so they're playing right now in their Thursday game. They play against tomorrow, and then they play their last game on Saturday. I'm going to come out here confidently say LSU's going to go 3-0 this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. Not too much to say. I mean, they're just coming out with a different type of focus now. Jay Johnson lost his mind last week against Florida, got ejected because the team just wasn't locked in. We weren't hitting how we were supposed to, we weren't pitching how we were supposed to. But it's okay. The team's gonna come back. We're gonna get a good dub. They've been looking solid. Ethan Frey's been looking good. Thatcher Hurd's probably not gonna play this weekend, but we have a pretty good rotation going in. I think the team's just gonna start realigning themselves.
Well, not to brag, but I went 2-0 last week. So Adam said,
"Don't put it in my face now. Don't put it in my face."
Adam said even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Whatever. But Seton won. LSU baseball won on Friday. All right. So I really think I'm on a streak right now. So I'm going all in on LSU women's basketball. So, they say that I'm not loyal, but I'm realistic. All right. But I'm going to be realistic and loyal today.
What is it?
LSU women's basketball is going to defeat UCLA. Thank you. Right now, UCLA is at plus 135. LSU is at minus 160. Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson is going against Kiki Rice, and I just don't know if they stand a chance, UCLA. Yeah, they're number 2, all this. I think LSU is finally going to get it together, which they'd struggling for a little bit. I think that chemistry is finally going to come together in the biggest moments, which is obviously right here in the Sweet 16.
Well, like Adam said, the clock is right twice a day, and I think you about to be wrong. She's heat checking right now. When a player makes 2 shots in a row, they're feeling good, and now they're gonna come in there. You're trying to shoot it from half right now.
3 hot beer pong. I only got one prediction: Tigers by 1 million. That's
Tigers by 1 million.
Tigers by 1 million.
Exactly.
I put my whole paycheck on red, so I don't have any money to bet. But Tigers by 1 million.
Okay, see, that's softball, that's baseball, and that's basketball.
That involves everything. We're going 15-0 next season too.
Okay.
Best believe it.
We're gonna bring this back up if this happens.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Listen, if we go 15-0 with BK and whoever we got, come back to this.
We'll have the whole band on. We'll do like 24 hours.
We'll rename After Midnight to Nostradamus. We'll do it.
Really?
No.
I was gonna say. We can say
we had such a bad time picking a name. We're not going back on this because we were like 3 different. We were Ziwis for our first gig.
Ziwis?
So we after our first Rev gig where we also played a terrible show. That was a sound issue and a guitar string issue. We decided to be After Midnight.
But I like that because you all played at Fred's after midnight. So I was
Right.
like, this is so great.
From now on, you guys should just
I
play
don't know if you
all
planned
We
it.
always set up the pun like tomorrow. Gavin's like, "Oh, I can't get off till 11." I'm like, "Oh, I can't get off till 12." He's like, "So that means we have to practice."
After midnight. That was perfect.
That's what I mean. It goes perfect. I think it was a good name.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's all we have for you today. I'm Patricia Caputo. He's David Bartholomew. Marco, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank y'all
from
so much for
After
having me.
Midnight.
Thank
First
y'all.
guest.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, you are forever have history here at the Purple Room. so.
Absolutely.
We gotta get a picture of you somewhere up here.
Yeah.
Let's get a picture of every
Yeah,
guest.
just
It's an
update
honor.
it.
It's an honor. Thank y'all so much for having me. All right.
Thank you for being here.
And yeah, come see us.
I'd also like to thank our producer, Adam Gattuso, for helping us put this
Gattuso.
all together.
Go.
That's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging with us. This has been the Purple Room Podcast.